When I was a kid, I loved going to sporting events, professional sporting events. I grew up in New York, so that tended to be the Jets, the Mets, the Rangers, and the Knicks. My father would take me. It was a lot of fun. He wasn't crazy about it, but he knew I liked it, so he was thrilled to take me. Now, one of the most memorable games we went to was a New York Jets football game when I believe I was roughly 9. Now, there are two generalizations that I think apply to 9-year-old boys. They certainly apply to me, and frankly, I also think they apply to boys aged 5 to 90, which is that one, we do not like leaving professional sporting events early. And two, no matter what evidence you can array in front of us, inescapable proof, we still do not believe we've ever misbehaved or did the crime. And I certainly know that was the case with me. Now, I don't know about you guys, but in my family, my parents were the judge, jury, and executioner. There was no trial by a jury of your peers, which would have been great because in that case, it would have been a jury of 12 9-year-olds. And I just don't think it would have been that hard to sway a jury of 12 9-year-olds. It's kind of like, hey Billy, I got a chocolate chip cookie which I'll give to you if you vote to acquit. Done. Deal was done. Certainly one of the 12 kids on the jury would have been willing to go with me. But alas, no, that's not how it worked. My parents wore every hat in the courtroom. Now, when they pronounced me guilty of something I did not do, one of their extreme punishments was to take away my beloved trading card collection for generally a week or two. To me, this was just unacceptable. It was miserable. It was a violation of the Geneva Convention. It was a violation of our Eighth Amendment to our Constitution's prohibition against cruel and unusual punishment. And just so you know, because I did not want you to think that I was exaggerating, I looked it up. Cruel and unusual punishment is punishment that is inhuman, barbaric, and far too severe for the crime committed. And there was no crime in this case. But needless to say, when they confiscated my cards, I would do anything and everything to try to get them back. I begged, pleaded, negotiated. I bawled like a baby. I mobilized international opinion. I went on search missions. I actually once found my cards at the top of my mom's closet. And you would think they'd let me keep them, given that I found them there, but no, they didn't. The game was on. And I didn't know the word at the time, but I basically tried to play the martyr. My idea was that I was going to go into my room and not come out until they returned my cards to me. Now, I couldn't understand at the time why that did not work. Right? But with the benefit of hindsight, I think I understand it. It was kind of like, well, let's see if we got this right. If we don't give you your cards back, you are going to voluntarily go into your room and not come out. Yeah, that was my plan, and it did not work. Nothing I did would melt their hearts. So it happens that the above-mentioned New York Jets football game fell one Sunday right in the middle of a 2-week period of confiscation of my cards. Game day was stunningly cold and windy, really as nasty a day as you could get. Not Darth Vader. My father, don't you hate when you do that? My father, I'm sorry, that's just a terrible mistake. My father, he said, let's pass on the game. Now, he was a man of his word, so I knew that if I said we're going to go, that we would go. And as you can imagine, professional sporting game, we were at war, at least I was at war. His audacious request was denied. So the whole way out to the game, and during the game, I was battering him, doing everything I could to secure the release of my cards, break his resolve. But in other words, I was just basically a pain in the butt. But he could not be broken, but nor could I be broken. 2 to 3 times he asked during the first half of the game, can we leave? And despite the fact that I was uncomfortably cold, and generalization number 1 that we don't leave professional games early, I kind of did want to leave, but no, we were not going to leave. first half came to an end and he pleaded, "Can we please leave now?" And I had this thought out of the blue, but it was really just a throwaway thought. I said, "Oh, well, if we leave, can I have my cards back?" He said yes. And that was it. We couldn't have been happier, and Mother Nature had come to the rescue. And as soon as we had signed our Mother Nature brokered peace agreement, we bolted from our seats, hustled to the car, and enjoyed a wonderful ride home, a warm ride, physically a warm ride, emotionally, laughter, listening to the game on the radio. It was just perfect. Mother Nature really had come to the rescue. Now, as I look back on this incident, over 40 years later, with that much more life experience and perspective under my belt, it occurs to me that I totally mishandled this situation. Wouldn't you agree that all I had to do to get my cards back was offer my folks a cookie?